McConnell versus Trump. It was a video series that I launched on this channel several weeks ago amidst concern that stimulus was being blocked by the tensions between McConnell versus Trump. But tonight, election results, we may see the impact of those tensions on both the candidates' races. Will Trump lose because of McConnell, or will McConnell lose because of Trump? And what will happen to the Senate? Tonight, breaking details, but before the results are in, a reflection on what they've done to this date, and more about your stimulus and the controversy of McConnell versus Trump. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is McConnell versus Trump in a breaking detail recording before all the election results are coming in. More about that in a second. If you've not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe, because tonight we're changing the programming schedule. There's going to be a lot of videos and a live feed, so I don't want you to miss anything at any time. Also, hit the alert on the front of this channel so you get an alert when a new video goes live. Meantime, like this video. It helps with the algorithm. We've been ranking and trending all day long today. Let me explain what we're doing on the programming schedule before I get to the substance of this video. Today's programming schedule is the following. On afternoons LALATE, there was check, then purple, and then this video. These will be the final videos of the day on the existing normal schedule. There will be no street and stimulus. There will be no evening to LALATE, and there will be no purple tonight. Rather, after this video, I will be going on set inside. And while on set, I will have two cameras recording. The first camera will be the live stream. I will be live streaming for hours. I will be giving you election results as they're coming in, numbers. Then, as an announcement is made, I will detail it on camera. So, for example, let's say I'm reporting, okay, Massachusetts, 10% reporting, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I have a breaking detail. Kansas, we can now declare a victory in the Kansas Senate race. I would then on set both give you the live announcement and also the tape recording will begin. I'll then tape a recording about the Kansas results finalized, go back into editing. You'll see me leave set for a short period of time so I can finish processing of that video, and then that tape recording will go back up and I will come back onto the live set. All right, let's get to the details tonight about McConnell versus Trump. Tonight we'll find out two major developments, but ultimately the one that impacts your stimulus checks the most is the Senate race. You'll find out the future of the president and the future of the Senate, but the question is whether these results were determined a long time ago. In reflection back on the tensions between Trump and McConnell, those tensions may have caused the net results of what could happen tonight. Going into this evening's polls, the two-number issues that Americans had said were at issue for them were the economy and COVID, with COVID 1 and economy 2. But in the recent weeks before this election, the president did not do executive orders. He spoke almost nothing about the economy. He did a blame game. And then Joe Biden spoke almost nothing about the economy and only spoke about what he would do with COVID. The question is, why did the Trump administration and the Trump campaign get so off of message on stimulus in the last few days before the election? Let me explain why. Part of the problems that stem from tonight's close races, especially on the economy, stem from Mitch McConnell and the tensions the president had with Mitch McConnell dating back to May. When I first launched this channel on April 25th, I wasn't covering stimulus. I was covering EIDL and PPP and PUA, the stimulus-related subjects. I wasn't covering stimulus checks. I wasn't covering the second stimulus package. But at that time, the Temple of Doom had written the second stimulus package, the HEROES Act, had sent it to the Senate, and Mitch McConnell said, you know what, I'm not doing anything with this. What did the president do? He stayed silent. That was categorically a determining factor of error. The president, upon receiving the second stimulus package from the Temple of Doom, should have done something. He should have done something on his own accord, whether or not it involves another bill, but he should not have ignored the subject, which is what Mitch McConnell did. At that point, the Republican Party was aligned, ignoring the issue of second stimulus. What came in the weeks that followed was Mitch McConnell telling press, and that's when about the time in which I came into this coverage. Mitch McConnell started telling press, you know what, I have a new bill coming out. I have a new bill coming out. And that was when I coined the expression Mitch-onse, because he kept on saying he was going to go on tour with something and it never came. Weeks went on and weeks went on, and finally we got to the final week in which was to be announced. That week, Mitch McConnell and Steve Mnuchin said they had been working for 6 weeks on the bill together. Oh, that's really good. It means the White House is involved with the bill. But on a Friday afternoon, everything hit the fan, and that became the basis of McConnell versus Trump. Mnuchin confirmed that he could not come to an agreement with anything with McConnell on the bill. That McConnell wanted a liability insurance provision for businesses, but other than that, they couldn't come to any agreement. So McConnell went home for the weekend. Mnuchin went to Capitol Hill and spoke to Republicans. And over the weekend, the Trump administration appeared on Morning Talk News and said, this is what's in the bill coming next week. This is what's in the bill. It's going to have a rent eviction moratorium. It's going to have a mortgage forbearance. It's going to have stimulus checks. On Tuesday morning, the bill debuted. It was not from Steve Mnuchin. It was not from Trump. It was from Mitch. And nowhere in it did it have any of the provisions that we were promised to by almost every Trump administration cabinet member over the weekend. It was very obvious what had happened. Mitch had gone and done his own thing. Gone stimulus checks. Gone FPUC. Well, actually, he had $200 a week. Gone hazard pay. Gone basic provisions. All missing. No rent eviction. No mortgage protection. In the days that followed, the president reportedly, as widely reported, said Mitch McConnell's bill was an irrelevant document. The president had to scramble. So on a Friday afternoon from his golf course in New Jersey, he had to issue executive orders to make up for the errors that Mitch had done. He issued an executive order for eviction moratorium, which he had always promised the American people, but had not gotten from Mitch. He had to do a mortgage forbearance. He had to do one for student debt repayment. And in the weeks that followed, those things came out along with the FPUC, which became LWA. It at that point became clear that there was something going on differently between the Trump administration and the Senate and Mitch McConnell. And it got worse. As time went on, then the 20 Republicans became very clear. Who are these? There are 20 Republicans you're going to pay attention to tonight who ultimately never wanted to give you stimulus. And they don't hide it. They simply just don't want to give you a penny for stimulus. Mitch would always appease those people, but not appease you. The majority of the Republicans did want to give you stimulus. They wrote stimulus bills. Mitt Romney wrote a stimulus bill. Marco Rubio wrote a stimulus bill. A lot of Republicans wrote stimulus bills to give you stimulus relief. And for some reason, Mitch was pandering to a minority in the Senate, a 20-person group that didn't want to give you a penny. So in the days that followed, he introduced a standalone bill. Again, no stimulus checks. Again, even smaller. The bill died within minutes. During this entire time, the president kept on negotiating with the Temple of Doom with deal provisions that were totally different than Mitch McConnell. And at that point, it became clear there was a big problem, and the problem with getting stimulus was the tension between the president and Mitch McConnell. He never fixed it. And what happened was you had 3 courses. You had the Temple of Doom's course, the president's course, and Mitch McConnell's course. And no one could ever bring in Mitch McConnell into the mix. He was an outsider. The Temple of Doom had said she wants him not involved in the negotiations, and ultimately he said he didn't know what was going on in the negotiations. And Steve Mnuchin made it worse. What ultimately happened with Steve Mnuchin is that he would not brief Republicans about what happened in all the negotiations, and that they would find it out from broadcast news. What's important to understand for tonight is that the Senate races are the most critical for your stimulus, not the presidential races. The presidential race will ultimately not really determine your stimulus. Why? Because both candidates will give you stimulus. Both candidates will sign off on a stimulus package. Neither candidate wants to is holding back and saying, I don't want to give stimulus, or I don't want to give a lot of stimulus. The only situation that you see that is if there's a big state and local amount, but even the president has endorsed state and local if there's guardrails on it. So the only thing that really is most determining for your stimulus tonight in the election results is the Senate. And it's not Mitch. The video is, of course, called McConnell versus Trump. It's not Mitch. It's whether or not the Senate is controlled by Republicans. Now, if the Senate falls to the Democrats and if the Senate is retained by the Republicans. Both scenarios lead very confusing results, so I don't want you to think that one is this and one is the other. It's simply just not the case. We will see in the days that follow what it means if the Senate is now Republican, if the Senate is now Democratic. We'll see that impact. But sitting right back here right now, we don't know it. The problem has been with the Senate has been more not necessarily the parties, but McConnell has been the problem, and those 20 miserly, don't want to give you any money, Republicans have been the problem. Ultimately, the problem has been an inability to really get things cohesive. And the other problem has, of course, been the Temple of Doom, her way, the highway. So if her highway is no longer there, if you do see not all three bodies of the federal government controlled by the same party, if you see one of them not controlled by the same party, then you might see conciliation and more negotiations and better concessions. We have not seen concessions from the Temple of Doom on the belief that her party will sweep and capture Senate and presidency, and that you'll see an all-Democratic government come this January. Now, I will certainly say and predict for you that some viewers or non-subscribers, but viewers, will jump in the comments and say, oh, because this happened, hence that. I don't see it ever. No, I mean, you really don't know. You don't know, I don't know, and it's just too hard to predict. Ultimately, people need stimulus. That's the first thing. Second, people may be put on lockdown and they have to be provided stimulus. That's another thing. Third, all these elected officials have lobbyists that pay for them to be reelected. So they can't have their lobbyists knock on their door and say, I need stimulus for the group that I'm lobbying. Oh, no, I'm not giving you any penny. Well, I just funded your election just yesterday. What do you mean you're not going to do anything for stimulus for me? So it's naive to think that no elected official does nothing for anyone, because they're actually paid to run campaigns and paid to run for Congress by lobbyists that want things out of them. Understand, the lobbyists want stimulus. Lobbyists want stimulus. You want stimulus. Wall Street wants stimulus. It's just who gets the stimulus first. All right, let me go over some incredible comments and questions from yesterday's recording. Demetria, we the people, we the purple power, we are the real caucus. We are. Linda, they owe a stimulus. The American people need it right now. Lori, people on fixed income will soon not be able to buy food or basic needs. Unfortunately, there's many out there already in that boat. Stimulus is needed badly. Nancy Stickler, hello LA and Purple Power family. Hello Nancy, don't forget to join me on the live feed tonight. Sean Adams, yes, the prices have gone up on eggs and milk. Yes, that was a big video yesterday. Mary Kilmer, I've always loved Texas, but now they're making me sick. I feel like government's putting this out there. They don't have shared my feelings. Robert Murphy. I see it as not being price inflation, but price gouging. Oh, interesting. So that was regards to my videos yesterday where I was talking about price of egg and price of milk going up, and he doesn't see it as price inflation. He sees price gouging. Really interesting. Let me look into that. Maybe that'll be a video for tomorrow. Denise Brown. Looks like the deal's going to happen. God bless. Yolanda Phillips. We will rock you. Keep up, Purple Power family. Amen. Margie. What I think is hilarious is how pumped up both Trump and Biden are to start fighting for the elections. Instead of worrying about us, they're worried about each other. They're worried about themselves. I mean, they're politicians. All they care about is themselves and their image and their career and their power and their pension check and, lifetime Social Security, lifetime benefits. That's all they really care about. The fact that we're here is just sort of like ancillary. Oh, yeah, you're elected to represent people. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. It's just, yes, absolutely true. Robert Renaud, the government you elect is the government you deserve. Thomas Jefferson, well said. Susan Osteen, $5 a gallon of milk and $3 a dozen eggs. Bushnell, Florida. Oh my God. That is expensive. $5 a gallon of milk. Carlita Mears, have a safe evening, Purple Power. Yes, you too. Sean Adams, we need stimulus till April of next year. Also going back to March of 2020. That's a good point. Because we're gonna have this problem for a while for the lockdowns. If you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below. Also, make sure you go to the Funds channel, subscribe so you do not miss a video today on a very exciting programming schedule. Also, like this video. Coming up next is the live feed with the individual videos that are taped on set during the live feed of the state-by-state announcements, ending potentially with a presidential announcement. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.